Welcome to the Celebrity Gossip Channel. In this video I'm going to be talking about Rihanna allegedly postponing new music to focus on AsapRocky and them allegedly getting married. I will also be talking about Latto being dragged for her new lottery. Then the final topic I'll be talking about will be Nicki Minaj finally coming back from her hiatus and her teasing new music. Right, so obviously, as you know, Rihanna has been, absent from music for a while. She has not released a lot of music over the last 7 years. After she did Anti, she had a few features here and there. She had a feature Kendrick Lamar, she had a feature DJ Khaled called Wild Thoughts, which was very successful and did peak in the top 5 on the Billboard charts. She did recently release her soundtrack last year, which also did well for the Black Panther song. In honor of Chadwick Boseman, it peaked at number 2 on the Billboard charts. But has she excessively been putting out singles? Not as much, certainly not as much as the fans would want her to. But as for her putting out a full album or her putting out singles throughout the last 5 years, she hasn't really done that as much, and she hasn't put out an album either in about 7 years. So because of that, a lot of fans have been very irritated at her, because not only has she not given them a lot of music in recent years, she's also teased them excessively about new music, but then failing to fulfill on that promise. So a lot of fans have been very irritated at her for that. And recently, when she did the Super Bowl, she was doing interviews and stuff like that, and she talked about new music. But then, as you know, she announced her pregnancy at the Super Bowl. Because of that, a lot of people were even questioning, will she still put out music? Will it get pushed back because of her pregnancy? Because when artists do music and do albums, they do tour as well. And obviously no one wants to tour pregnant, no one wants to do shows pregnant and stuff like that. So a lot of fans were thinking she might push it back, because like I said, when artists put albums, they do tours and concerts and stuff like that to promote it overseas. So obviously a lot of them were thinking she might push it back because she's having a baby. But then there was also rumors going around recently that she will be pushing or postponing her new album because she wants to get married to AsapRocky. Now I don't really, if she wants to settle down with AsapRocky, that's her business. She's already has one child with him and is expecting another. So I mean, it would only kind of make sense for her to settle down with him. Like if she already has 2 children, well, 1 child and expecting another one as well. So I understand that. However, I do think her fans probably won't like this news. And she deserves to be happy, like I said. I don't have an issue with her getting married or an issue with her having children. But like I said, I can't understand why the fans do get a bit frustrated at her. Because it's not about her living her life. It's more so about her making all these promises and not being able to fulfill it. Like if you know you want to relax and just, chill, because you've been putting out 8 albums consecutively for a very long time, the way she did in the past, I get that. That's a lot of work, that's a lot of work. So I do get that, but I think had you just been honest and be like, look, I want to take a break from music, I want to relax, I want to have children, I want to get married, I want to focus on other business ventures. Even though some fans may have been irritated or upset at her, they would have, come to an understanding. Like, look, she's given us 8 albums here. Most artists don't even do that many albums. That's very rare when you see an artist put out that many albums, especially at a young age, because she's still in her 30s. So it's like I do understand where she's coming from. But I feel like the frustration from her fans, and people who like her music is like, look, you're not really being completely honest here. If you want to settle down or take it slow, do that, but just be honest with your fans. Like, don't make promises you can't fulfill. Because I don't expect her to be putting out music or doing no tours. Because there was a rumor a few weeks just before she did the Super Bowl, there was a rumor going around that she would announce a tour just after she did the Super Bowl. I would also announce her album as well. So after I heard that she was pregnant and saw the videos and photos and stuff like that, I was not thinking she was going to do all of that. I knew immediately that it would get pushed back. So I'm not necessarily convinced that it's because of AsapRocky and that she wants to get married to him. There may be some truth to that, but I don't think that's the main reason. I think the main reason is because she wants to settle down a bit and just wants to, take it slow. because she's been working consecutively in music for such a long time, so she's probably a bit burnt out, which is understandable. And she's already had a lot of success. She's already sold hundreds and millions of records, has 14 number ones. So there's not really a lot more that Rihanna can really do. She's already broken a lot of records and stuff like that. So I do understand, but like I said, if she was just honest about that, I think people would respect her a bit more. Like they would respect her honestly, because I already get it. Like, look, I'm tired. I want to, have children. I want to do other things. But just be honest about that. But anyway, let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. Do you agree with Rihanna, or do you think she should just get it together and put out another album? But anyway, moving on from that, recently Latto decided to put out a new song, Lottery, and she has received a lot of backlash for two reasons. One being, some fans obviously feel like, not fans of her, but just people, music listeners, some people were irritated at her because if you remember a few months back, she had an issue with Nicki Minaj, and they were going back and forth because Nicki used her as an example when trying to call out the fact that the Grammys were mistreating her because she submitted Super Freaky Girl for her to be in the rap category, and they put it in the pop section, and she was like, yeah, but Super Freaky Girl is pop, no, it's Big Energy, which is true, because Latto herself has even in the past called Big Energy a pop song. So, Nicki was obviously calling out the double standard, but apparently Latto didn't like that. Although she defended Nicki in a DM, when she went on Twitter, it was a completely different story. So obviously they went back and forth, and within their argument, Latto tried to use the fact that Nicki's husband went to jail for allegedly attempting to a woman, even though there was a video recently that did go viral of the woman basically admitting that she lied. So, yeah, allegedly.
Perjury is when you lie under oath, and regardless if I made a statement or I didn't make a statement, that is the reason why I stood up in court and I said, when a judge asks, like, yo, does anybody have anything to say before he is sentenced? I stood up and I said, Your Honor, I'm the person who pressed the charges. I would like to drop the charges. I made a huge mistake.
Wow.
This was like, I'm in court in front of his family, in front of friends, in front of everybody, like, whatever. And they was like, take it to the DA, and nobody wanted to hear shit.
Because he probably didn't have a paid lawyer at that time.
I don't know how much good gonna come from that.
I'm saying that'll be like a load off of other people, you know what I'm saying?
So even though that did happen recently, so I did kind of find that interesting. But anyway, yeah, point being, so she obviously said that about Nicki and tried to talk about her husband and said, oh, but your husband is this, he's an R and and stuff like that. And she tried to use that as a drag against Nicki Minaj. And it was so interesting that not only did she not have that energy when she wanted to work with Nicki, because she still was married to her husband then, she didn't have that energy then when she was trying to get a feature from her. She didn't care about that then, and she didn't care about that when she worked with Dr. Luke, who produced Big Energy. For the record, in case if you didn't know, the reason why I'm saying that, that obviously she didn't care about our words and stuff like that, or care about women being hard, is because Dr. Luke, who also produced Big Energy, was accused of allegedly trying to take advantage of the singer Kesha, and this is obviously public knowledge, okay? And she didn't have an issue working with him, but then obviously tried to shun Nicki Minaj for her husband's alleged past, which was already technically, kind of proven not to be accurate. And not only that, he also produced Lottery. So that's the thing. And so obviously people are calling that out, like, but if you really cared about, victims and our victims and stuff like that, you would have not worked with Dr. Luke in the first place. You wouldn't have worked with Kodak Black, who also went to jail for allegedly doing the same thing. So it doesn't even make any sense. If you really cared about that stuff, you would keep the same energy. You wouldn't pick and choose who you hold accountable. So I knew Latto didn't care about that. I knew she was just saying it to be petty, or was saying it, because she wanted to offend Nicki. So yeah, but point is, Latto's been dragged by that because some people feel like she was just saying it for clout and was saying it because she's a hypocrite, and they've called her out on that. And another reason why people are dragging her is because they noticed her new song Lottery was not on any streaming platforms, despite the song being given playlisting. And even though it was not on streaming platforms and was not doing very well on iTunes, wasn't even on iTunes or any streaming platform, they noticed that her song was one of the top 5 gaining songs on radio. And obviously that confused a lot of people, because they were like, look, if your song isn't doing well on streaming platforms, why is it gaining constantly on radio play? That doesn't even make any sense. So the reason why a lot of people are dragging her for this is because they believe she's using payola. If you don't know, the Billboard Hot 100, which is the main chart in the US, they count radio play. So essentially they work on points. Every song has points. So when you have a song and it does well on streaming platforms, that song will now gain in points. So if you then submit the song to radio that same week it's released, the next week it will now gain in more points because it's impacted radio play. And now the radios, are now constantly playing the song. But the issue is with Latto, her song isn't doing well on streaming platforms. It's not doing well. So because of that, the label is now forcing the song on radio, which is why it's gaining so much radio play, because they know if the song does well on radio, it's now going to stick on Billboard the same way Big Energy did, even though no one gave a fuck about Big Energy, but because she gets a lot of radio play, they'll try and fit this consistent, because all these labels know that Billboard count radio. And there's nothing wrong with them sending songs to radio play, but I just don't think it makes any sense that she should get so much radio play if a song isn't doing well, because then it's not, organic. Which is why I feel like even though Latto's song Big Energy went top 5 on Billboard, and then she dropped her album the second week, and it still flopped, the album still flopped. It flopped because people don't care about Latto like that. She doesn't have that hype she thinks she does, because if she did, if you have a song that enters the top 5 one week and you drop your album the second week, shouldn't it impact the album? Shouldn't the album sales go up? That's just my logic. I feel like that makes more sense. But even after that happened, the album still didn't do very well. So that's the thing. So yeah, so a lot of fans noticed that. So a lot of fans believe she's using payola. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. Do you think Latto is using payola? Do you think people have a right to feel some type of way about that? Now the final topic I wanted to talk about is Nicki Minaj finally coming back from her hiatus. So obviously over the last few months she's been very absent from social media. She hasn't been active like that at all. But recently, over the last few weeks, she has been seen liking tweets on Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that, and leaving comments on the YouTube videos, some of which are her videos. And recently, she was seen spotted out in Trinidad and Tobago, which is where she was born, because there was some sort of like festival and carnival there, which she's known to go there at times. She has been there in the past. If I'm not mistaken, she did film her video Pound the Alarm there. So at times she does go there in Trinidad to the festivals, and she was seen having a very good time at the festival. And recently she did announce that she would be releasing her new single on the 3rd of March. So at first she said that she would be going on Queen Radio on the 3rd of March, and then a few hours later she did announce that she would be releasing her new single, Red Ruby Rose Sleeves. And she even put out a teaser for the song, and you can hear the song on the video. I'm not going to play it here because I'm not trying to get copyrighted, but if you want to hear this teaser of the song, it's on her Instagram. And yeah, it does sound good. The song does sound good. So yeah, she's set to release the song on the 3rd of March. And a lot of fans do believe that this song could be her 4th #1 hit, because if you don't know, Nicki has 3 #1 hits, one being the Say So remix, another one being Trolls, and the other one being Super Freaky Girl. So a lot of fans believe this song could be her 4th #1. And I do believe there is a possibility it could go #1, but mainly because her fans do buy her music. They're not just one of those egotistical people on Twitter who have the most to say, but that never translates into sales. But Nicki's fans aren't like that. They do generally buy her music. So I do think the song could go to #1 if they obviously get their heads together and buy the song and stuff like that, do streaming parties and stuff like that. But yeah, do you think the song will go #1? Let me know in the comment section down below. Anyway, that's all in this video. If you like the video, please like, subscribe and share. Also, just to let you know, I did recently start my career breakdown series. I did recently upload the first half of episode 1. I recently uploaded part 1 of episode 1. It's on my channel, and I will also put a link in the description below to episode 1, part 1 of my career breakdown series. So if you guys would to check that out, that would be much appreciated. And I will be uploading part 2 very soon. So episode 1 is on Nicki Minaj, of course, and it's on her rise to fame. So the career breakdown is on the run through of celebrities' careers and stuff like that. We talk about the most iconic moments, and we talk about why they're so successful. And the series will be done on celebrities, actors, singers, musicians, rappers, you name it, even activists. So if you have any other, celebrities or any people who are public figures that you want me to do an episode on, let me know in the comment section down below. And also let me know on Twitter or Instagram. Thank you. Please like, subscribe and share. Thank you.